The day he vanished. An empty house. The first rays of morning sunlight slipped through the curtains of a quiet townhouse in Alexandria, Virginia, just outside Washington, D.C. The neighborhood was peaceful, lined with brick homes and tree-covered sidewalks where joggers greeted each other every morning. Inside one of those homes, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee drifted through the kitchen. Emma Carter smiled as she opened her eyes. Today was special. Exactly 1 year ago, she had married the man she believed was the love of her life, Daniel Brooks. Their first wedding anniversary. She reached across the bed, expecting to find him asleep beside her. Instead, the sheets were cold. She sat up, rubbing the sleep from her eyes. Daniel? No answer. She assumed he'd gone downstairs to prepare breakfast. That wasn't unusual. Daniel loved surprising her with little traditions: fresh coffee, pancakes on Sundays, handwritten notes tucked into unexpected places. Emma slipped on her slippers and walked into the hallway. The house was unusually quiet. Daniel? Still nothing. She smiled to herself. Trying to surprise me again. The kitchen looked almost normal. A coffee pot was still warm. 2 mugs sat on the counter. One had been used. The other remained untouched. Emma frowned. He always waited for her before pouring the second cup. She picked up the warm mug. He couldn't have left more than 15 minutes ago. Then she noticed something strange. Daniel's car keys were still hanging beside the front door. His wallet rested on the hallway table. His watch lay beside it. Daniel never left home without his watch. Her smile slowly disappeared. She walked into the living room. The television was off. The curtains were still closed. Nothing appeared disturbed. Then her eyes settled on the dining table. A neatly wrapped gift waited beside a small anniversary card. Emma smiled again. So that's your game. She carefully opened the envelope. Inside was a handwritten message. Happy anniversary, Emma. If you're reading this, I'm already gone. I'm sorry. Please don't try to find me, no matter what anyone tells you. Remember one thing. Everything I ever felt for you was real. Daniel. Emma stared at the letter. The room suddenly felt colder. Her hands began to shake. This wasn't one of Daniel's jokes. Something was terribly wrong. She called his phone. Straight to voicemail. Again. Nothing. Again. Still nothing. Then she noticed something beneath the refrigerator. A small black USB drive. No label. No markings. As she picked it up, a black SUV slowly stopped outside the house. 2 people in dark suits stepped out. 3 firm knocks echoed through the hallway. Knock. 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 A woman's voice called through the door. Mrs. Emma Carter? My name is Special Agent Sarah Mitchell. We're with the FBI. Emma's heart skipped a beat. The police had never arrived. The FBI had, the day he vanished. The FBI at the door. Emma opened the front door only a few inches. Standing outside were a woman in her early 40s wearing a navy business suit and a younger man in a charcoal overcoat. Both displayed FBI credentials. Sarah Mitchell spoke first. Mrs. Carter, may we come inside? Emma nodded silently. The agents entered and carefully looked around the house. Special Agent Noah Reed examined the kitchen, the warm coffee, the untouched mug, Daniel's wallet, his watch. Everything remained exactly where Emma had found it. Sarah unfolded Daniel's letter. Her expression immediately changed. Where did you find this? On the dining table. Sarah read it twice, then handed it to Noah. Neither agent said a word. Emma finally asked, What's happening? Sarah looked directly into her eyes. Mrs. Carter. The man you know as Daniel Brooks. D-O-N-U-E isn't his real name. Emma blinked. I don't understand. Noah took a slow breath. Your husband is Special Agent Ethan Cole. He has been working undercover for the Federal Bureau of Investigation for the last 5 years. The words barely registered. Emma laughed nervously. That's impossible. You're mistaken. Sarah slowly shook her head. We're not. She opened a secure folder. Inside were photographs. Daniel wearing tactical FBI gear. Daniel standing beside armored vehicles. Daniel graduating from the FBI Academy. Daniel shaking hands with senior officials. Every photograph was real. Every photograph showed the same man Emma had married, yet she had never seen any of them before. Tears filled her eyes. So, Polt. Who did I marry? Sarah answered quietly. You married a man living under a false identity. But one thing in that letter is true. He really did love you. Emma sank into a chair. Her entire marriage suddenly felt like a lie. Then Noah picked up the black USB drive. Did you know this was here? Emma shook her head. No. Noah looked at Sarah. I don't think he accidentally left it. Sarah nodded. He wanted Emma to find it. The day he vanished, his last message. The USB drive was connected to a secure FBI laptop. Everyone gathered around the dining table for several seconds. Nothing happened. Then, one encrypted video file appeared. Sarah clicked play. The screen flickered. Daniel appeared. He was sitting inside a dimly lit motel room. His face looked exhausted. A bruise marked the side of his forehead. He looked directly into the camera. If you're watching this, two. Then my cover has been blown. Emma covered her mouth. Daniel continued. Emma. 2. I'm sorry. I promised I'd tell you the truth when my mission ended. I never thought it would end like this. He looked over his shoulder as if someone might be outside. I don't have much time. If the FBI reaches you first. Snumbersu, prushed Sarah Mitchell. But trust no one else. Not even inside the Bureau. Sarah and Noah exchanged uneasy glances. Daniel continued. There is a mole inside the FBI. They've been feeding information to the organization I've been investigating. If they discover this video, G.O.G. Emma won't be safe. He reached toward the camera. If I disappear, it doesn't mean I'm dead. It means I'm still fighting. He smiled sadly. And Emma. Everything I ever told you about loving you. That was the only part of my life that was never undercover. The video suddenly froze. Static filled the speakers. Then, a loud gunshot echoed in the background. Daniel turned sharply toward the motel door. The recording ended. Silence filled the room. Emma stared at the black screen. No. W6. Sarah immediately checked the video metadata. It was recorded. W6 hours ago. W6. Noah's phone suddenly rang. He answered. His expression hardened. He looked toward Sarah. We've got a problem. What happened? Noah spoke quietly. The motel from the video. USWS is on fire. Sarah immediately stood. We're leaving. Emma looked at them. What about me? Sarah met her eyes. If Daniel was right? Numb. You're no longer just a missing agent's wife. You're now a target. Outside the window. Across the street. A man wearing a baseball cap lowered a pair of binoculars. He climbed into a parked sedan, started the engine, and drove away. Someone had been watching the house. Zzz, long before the FBI arrived. The voice message. Silence filled the living room. Emma stared at the disposable phone, her hands trembling. The call had lasted less than 5 seconds, but one thing was certain. Ethan Cole was alive. Special Agent Noah Reed quickly took the phone and handed it to an FBI forensic technician. "Trace it." The technician immediately connected the device to a secure analyzer. After several tense seconds, he looked up. No signal history. What? The phone received the call through a one-time encrypted satellite relay. Sarah frowned. "Can you locate the source?" The technician slowly shook his head. "Impossible." The relay erased itself the moment the call ended. Emma looked toward Sarah. Swoo, he wanted me to hear his voice." Sarah nodded, but he didn't want anyone to find him. The room remained heavy with unanswered questions. Sarah picked up the brass key from the hidden box. Attached to it was a worn leather tag. Stamped into the brass were 4 simple words. Union Station, Locker 214. Emma recognized the location immediately. Washington Union Station. Sarah looked toward Noah. "We're going." Noah hesitated. "What if it's a trap?" Sarah answered without looking away from the key. "Then Ethan expected us to survive it." Less than 30 minutes later, a convoy of unmarked FBI SUVs pulled into the underground parking garage of Washington Union Station. Rush-hour commuters hurried through the historic terminal above, completely unaware that one of the Bureau's most sensitive investigations had just arrived beneath their feet. Sarah gathered the team. No uniforms. No visible weapons. If someone is watching, I want them comfortable. Emma stood beside Noah, nervously watching travelers enter and leave the station. For the first time since Daniel disappeared, she felt as if every stranger could be following her. Locker 24 stood near the far end of the baggage storage corridor. Old, steel. Paint chipped from years of use. Emma stepped forward. Her hand shook as she inserted the brass key. The lock clicked. She slowly opened the locker door. Inside. There wasn't a suitcase. There wasn't a briefcase. Only a small black backpack. Perfectly clean, as though it had been placed there only moments ago. Sarah carefully removed it. Inside were several neatly organized items. A burner phone, a folded street map of Washington, D.C., a stack of $100 bills, a loaded passport, and a sealed envelope marked WW 4W Emma only. Noah carefully scanned the bag for explosives. Nothing. Sarah handed Emma the envelope. She unfolded another handwritten letter. "Emma, if you've reached Locker 214, it means you're already one step ahead of the people chasing us. Everything inside this bag was prepared months ago. You'll soon discover that someone inside the FBI is helping the organization I infiltrated. Until that person is exposed. You trust. No badge. Not even the ones protecting you. The map will lead you to the only place I know they haven't found. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you sooner." Ethan. Emma slowly lowered the letter. Her eyes moved toward Sarah. "You told me I could trust you." Sarah met her gaze. "I still hope you can." Before anyone could continue, a loud explosion echoed somewhere outside the station. People screamed. Emergency alarms began sounding through the terminal. Noah immediately drew his weapon. "Everyone move." The FBI agents rushed Emma behind a concrete support pillar. Passengers fled in every direction. Smoke drifted to the main entrance. Then Marcus Hale, the Bureau's surveillance specialist, shouted through Sarah's earpiece. "Sarah!" That explosion wasn't the target. "What do you mean?" It was a diversion. At that exact moment. Double one. One of the surveillance monitors inside the station control room suddenly went black. Then another. Within seconds. Double one within seconds. Every security camera inside Union Station had been disabled. Noah's radio crackled. "I've lost visual on the east entrance." Another voice followed. West entrance is down. Sarah looked around the crowded terminal. No cameras. Civilians everywhere. This is exactly what he wanted. Emma suddenly noticed someone standing on the upper balcony. A man wearing a dark baseball cap. He wasn't running. He wasn't panicking. He was simply watching her. The moment their eyes met, he smiled, then disappeared into the crowd. Emma pointed toward the balcony. There. Noah sprinted toward the escalators. Ethan's warning echoed inside Emma's mind. Trust no badge, for the first time. She wondered if the man running after the suspect, Zian Mun, was really chasing him or protecting him. The man in the crowd. The crowded corridors of Union Station erupted into chaos. Passengers rushed toward the exits. Parents grabbed their children. Luggage rolled across the marble floor as frightened travelers tried to escape the sound of the explosion outside. Emma stood frozen. She had only looked away for a second. The man in the baseball cap had vanished. "North balcony!" Noah shouted into his radio as he sprinted toward the escalators. 2 tactical agents followed close behind. Sarah stayed beside Emma. "Don't leave my side." Emma nodded, but her attention remained fixed on the second-floor balcony. She couldn't explain it. There was something familiar about the man, not his face, his posture. The way he smiled before disappearing? It wasn't the smile of someone afraid. It was the smile of someone who knew exactly what would happen next. Noah reached the upper level within seconds. He scanned the crowded food court. Nothing. Then, a janitor pointed toward a service hallway. A man just ran through there. Noah and 2 agents rushed into the narrow corridor. It ended at an emergency exit. The heavy steel door swung slowly in the wind. They stepped outside. An empty alley. No footsteps. No vehicles. No suspect. Only a black chess piece resting on the wet pavement. A white knight. Noah picked it up. Attached to its base was a folded piece of paper. He opened it. One sentence was written in elegant handwriting. "Every move you make, W was planned before you arrived." Noah clenched his jaw. The bastard was expecting us. Back inside the station, Sarah led Emma into a restricted security office while local police secured the building. Marcus Hale appeared on the laptop screen through a secure video connection. "I've recovered partial footage from one camera." He pressed play. The screen showed the station entrance 5 minutes before the explosion. Emma appeared. Sarah. Noah. The FBI convoy. Then, a black sedan parked across the street. A man stepped out wearing a baseball cap. He wasn't looking at the station. He was looking directly at Emma. Marcus paused the video. "He arrived 23 minutes before you did." Sarah frowned. "So he knew we were coming." Marcus zoomed in. The image sharpened. The man's face remained partially hidden beneath the cap. But something else became visible. A tattoo on the side of his neck. A small raven with its wings spread. Sarah's expression changed instantly. "No. You know that symbol." She nodded slowly. "I've only seen it once." "Where?" "In Ethan's classified case file." Emma looked at her. "What does it mean?" Sarah took a deep breath. The Raven Syndicate. The criminal organization Ethan spent 5 years infiltrating. The room fell silent. Marcus spoke quietly. "They found Emma." Suddenly, Emma remembered the folded street map from the backpack. She spread it across the table. Until now, it had looked ordinary. Roads, landmarks, metro lines. But as sunlight streamed through the office window, invisible ink slowly began to appear. Blue lines spread across the paper like veins. Marcus leaned closer. Heat-sensitive ink. A single route emerged across the map. Starting at Union Station, ending at an abandoned warehouse near the Potomac River. In the corner, another handwritten message appeared. "Comb alone." Emma's heartbeat quickened. Sarah immediately shook her head. Absolutely not. It's a trap. But what if Ethan's there? Emma asked. Before Sarah could answer, Noah burst into the room. We've got another problem. What happened? Sarah asked. Noah tossed the white chess piece onto the table. It wasn't just a clue. He turned it over. Hidden inside its hollow base was a tiny GPS tracker. Everyone stared at it. Noah's voice grew tense the moment I picked it up. Whoever planted it knew exactly where we were. Marcus looked horrified. They weren't watching Emma. They were watching us. Before anyone could respond, every phone in the room vibrated at the same time. Sarah checked hers. So did Noah. Emma looked at the burner phone from the locker. Each screen displayed the same message. Checkmate is coming. Then, one by one, every phone began to ring. No caller ID, no number, only silence. Emma hesitated before answering. A distorted voice whispered through the speaker. You have 12 hours. If Emma doesn't come to the warehouse alone, www. Special Agent Ethan Cole dies. The call ended. No explanation. No second chance. Sarah looked at Emma. Emma looked at the map. For the first time since Daniel disappeared, she realized she wasn't just searching for her husband anymore. She had become part of his mission. And somewhere, hidden in the shadows of Washington, D.C., Ethan Cole was waiting for a rescue that might already be too late.